on a quiet road in Ohio, a young man named Jake stood in front of an empty barn, keys in his hand, a dream in his heart, and not a single customer in sight. What he did next, or rather, what he refused to do for 2 long years, would either make him or break him forever. Well now, pull up a chair. It's Grandpa Ben here. And tonight, I'm going to tell you the story of Jake Miller, a boy who wanted to build the finest auto repair shop on Route 9, but kept telling the world, "I'll start Monday." If you've ever had a big dream and kept pushing it to tomorrow, this story is for you. Jake Miller was 24 years old. He grew up in Pinewood, Ohio, a small town where everybody knew your name, your daddy's truck, and how late you stayed up on Friday nights. Jake was strong, sharp-minded, and full of plans. In high school, he could tear apart an engine blindfolded. Well, not literally, but close enough. His friends used to say, "Jake's gonna own this town one day." And Jake believed it. He'd stand in the gravel lot behind his uncle's house, look at the old red barn on Route 9, and picture neon signs, fresh paint, the smell of motor oil, and a line of trucks waiting for the best mechanic in the county. "I'm gonna call it Miller's Garage," he'd say. "Best service from Cleveland to Columbus. People will drive miles just to see me." Everybody loved Jake's confidence. But there was one problem Jake never talked about. Jake was a master of Monday. When the sun came up and other men went to work, Jake was still asleep. When his buddy Marcus opened the diner at 6, Jake rolled in at 10, hair messy, coffee in hand, talking about his big plans. When folks fixed fences, patched roofs, and sweated through summer jobs, Jake sat on the porch scrolling his phone, watching other people succeed on a little glass screen. He didn't lack talent. He didn't lack dreams. He lacked the one thing every dream demands: daily action. Jake loved the idea of success. He hated the boring, sweaty, ordinary work success is built on. And the empty barn on Route 9, the barn his father left him before moving south, sat there like a question he refused to answer. One spring afternoon, I was driving through Pinewood to visit my sister. I'd known Jake since he was a boy, in church shoes kicking dirt in the parking lot. I stopped for gas, saw Jake leaning on that barn door, and walked over. "Afternoon, Jake," I said. "Hey, Grandpa Ben," he grinned. "You caught me on a break. Big week coming up. I'm almost ready to open." I looked past him. Inside the barn, a workbench covered in dust, tools still in boxes, one old tire in the corner, and cobwebs thick as cotton. "Almost ready," I said slowly. "How long you been almost ready, son?" Jake laughed. That easy laugh people use when the truth gets too close. "Don't worry about me. Monday, I'm serious this time. I'm going to organize everything, order signs, maybe run a Facebook ad." I'd heard that Monday before, from other young men, from myself, once, a long time ago. So I didn't argue. I just said, "Mind if I look around?" Jake shrugged. "Sure." That's when I saw them, 2 trucks. Now listen close, because this is where Jake's life split in 2, and he didn't even know it yet. Behind the barn sat an old blue pickup, his father's truck. Rust on the wheel wells, flat tire, bird nest in the engine bay. Jake hadn't touched it in 3 years. "It's junk," Jake said. "I'll fix it when the shop's running. Gotta focus on the business first." But beside it, under a torn tarp, was something else. A small red utility cart Jake's father had used for yard work. 2 summers back, Jake had actually fixed its engine, just to prove he still had it. He'd changed the belt, cleaned the carburetor, oiled the chain. It still ran. Jake had even used it to haul mulch for Mrs. Delaney next door. She paid him $40 and a loaf of banana bread. $40. Earned. Not dreamed, not Monday. Earned. I walked between the two machines, one dying from neglect, one alive from care. And I said, Jake, you've got two shops right here. One you're starving, one you fed. Which one's going to teach you who you are? He frowned. Grandpa Ben, it's not the same. The garage is my future. The truck is just old metal. Is it? I said. Or is the truck the truth, and the garage the daydream? Jake went quiet. The wind pushed through the barn cracks. Somewhere down Route 9, a semi-horn blew, like the world was moving on without him. That night, Jake couldn't sleep. He kept seeing that rust eating his father's blue pickup. Slow, patient, winning. Like laziness always wins when you don't show up. He thought about Marcus, who'd saved $9,000 opening a food trailer. About Elena, who'd studied nights and became a nurse. About his own voice, loud in the diner, quiet in the barn. At 2 a.m, he whispered, If I don't change now, Monday's gonna own me till I'm old. But morning came, and Jake did what Jake always did. He said, I'll start tomorrow. Weeks turned into months. Summer heat baked pine wood. Jake's Monday became after Labor Day. Then after the holidays. Then when the economy's better. The barn grew sadder. Dust settled on his dreams like snow nobody bothered to shovel. And the weeds outside, nobody cut them. They spread, fast, easy, like every habit you don't fight. Then came the day that broke Jake's pride. Mrs. Delaney's car died on Route 9, smoke pouring from the hood, grandson in the back seat, scared. A stranger in a clean work shirt pulled over, popped the hood, fixed a loose hose in 10 minutes, and refused payment. Just pass it on, the man said. Jake heard about it at the diner. That stranger had just opened Miller's biggest rival, Harlan's Auto, 3 miles down the road. Same dream, different Monday. Jake's face burned. That night he walked to the barn alone. He stared at the blue truck, rust now climbing the door like a disease. He kicked the tire. Hard. Pain shot up his leg. Good. He deserved pain more than comfort. He opened the hood. For the first time in 3 years. What happened next wasn't magic. It was mud, grease, busted knuckles, and cuss words whispered at stubborn bolts. Jake worked before sunrise. Not because he felt inspired, because he was done lying to himself. Day 1, pulled the bird nest, changed the oil, named every tool he'd ignored. Day 3, sanded rust till his arms shook. Day 7, engine turned over, rough, angry, alive. Day 14, blue truck rolled down the driveway under its own power. Mrs. Delaney saw it. Well, look at you, she said. Miller's garage open for business. Jake looked at the barn, then at the truck, then at her. Not the barn yet, he said, but yes, Mum, I'm open. Here's the part most people miss. Jake didn't fix his whole life in one heroic weekend. He fixed one truck, one habit, one morning at a time. He started with neighbors, oil changes in his driveway, honest prices, showing up when he said he would. He kept a jar on the workbench. Mondays I skipped. Every time he wanted to delay, he dropped a penny in. The jar got heavy. So did his schedule, in a good way. By fall, he'd earned enough to paint the barn door. By winter, a real sign. Miller's Garage, Route 9. Not the biggest shop in Ohio, but real, built, not dreamed. One evening he came to my porch with coffee and grease under his nails. the best perfume a working man can wear. "Grandpa Ben," he said, "I thought ambition was a lightning strike. Turns out it's more like watering a seed. Boring, daily, easy to skip." I smiled. "And laziness?" "Laziness," he said, "don't need water. It grows while you sleep." So, dear listener, Jake's story ain't about trucks and barns. It's about you. Every one of us owns an empty barn somewhere, a dream we talk about more than we touch. And we all carry two seeds. Ambition, small, slow, needs daily care. Laziness, fast, loud, spreads while you rest. You don't need a magic uncle. You don't need perfect timing. You need one honest morning where you stop saying Monday and pick up one wrench, one page, one call, one step, because the longer you wait, the more rust wins. If this story stirred something in you, hit like. Subscribe to Grandpa Ben's Story Hour for more tales that wake up the brave part of you. Share it with someone who's been saying Monday too long. Till next time, stay cozy, stay kind, and start today. Good night, my friends. Grandpa Ben, signing off.